Okay, I am back. I got the mat all cleaned up. We are going to continue on with our stamping and our heat embossing. We're going to make 2 more of these. And get this inked up nice and good here. Just looking, making sure I don't see any lint anywhere on my stamps. Alright, gotta pull this out and we're gonna take it over to the embossing powder. There we go. Close that up, move the stuff over. Embossing powder out. I got my finger a little close to that B. Let's recover it. There we go. Dump that in there. Alright. Gonna get our heat gun out and we're gonna start heating. Alright, we're going to do 1 more of those. And then we're going to move on to something different again. You can hear it, but the cat's meowing back there. Alright, looks like it came out nicely. Let's see these spots that were missed. Hopefully anyone who's watching can see that in the camera too. Everything got melted. We are good. So I'm gonna put the embossing powder away for now. This in its drawer so it doesn't get spilled all over. Alright, so far we've got a few things done here. These, they look so nice now that they've dried. They came out very nicely. And I have to say, now that the lemonade is dried, I like the lemonade a bit more now too. And the peach came out okay. Another one of those. What else do we have over here? So we have done a lot of stamping this morning. I'm looking at these, and we've stamped this flower, we've stamped that flower. I think what we're going to go back and do is a little more stamping and just get the rest of these flowers in there. That way when we start building our scrapbook pages, we have a whole thing of flowers and stuff we could choose from as we're decorating. I'll finish getting these organized first though. And we did a lot of stamping so far today. We're here dropping stuff. That's going to be a little different. Sweet, sweet, sweet. Okay. I'm just going to put all these similar ones in the same pile. We're going to be die cutting these. So that's our pile like that. This one we're going to have to cut out separately because it's lined up a little differently than everything else. Okay, so now, our next goal is just going to be to get some more flower petals done. And honestly, I am kind of debating how we're going to do that, because when we look, let's take this out here. So some of these are definitely stamped differently. I don't know how they did that one because it looks like a big bunch. So yeah, I guess we are going to do more flowers. You know what we forgot to do? We forgot to clean these stamps off real quick. So let's clean these stamps off before we put them back on the carrier sheet. I think that VersaFine has dried quite a bit, so I'm not going to stress it too much. Alright. Let's get our carrier sheet. Putting all our stamps back on here. There we go. And we're actually going to put this set here away for now. Try to get that little foamy piece in there as straight as possible so we don't wrinkle it. Moving some stuff around, making room for what we're doing. It'll be just a moment while I get organized over here. And not know where I put my foam piece for these stamps. I like to put the foam over it when I'm not using them so we keep as much dust and such off of it. Okay, here we go. Alright, so when I look at these flowers and we look on here, this is not, okay, so those are all the same color. Those are all the same color. How are we going to do this without stamping tons and tons of sheets of flowers? Well, I guess we can stamp quite a few sheets of the same color. Put our magnets on here. I know we don't have any of this one done yet. I'll just put a bunch of petals on here. And I do need to space these far enough apart where we could get our dies on them. did a bunch of that big one already. Alright, let's figure out how we're going to line these up and fit them all on here. So we need to leave just enough room to get our thin cuts around them when we're ready to cut. Oh, there's lint on this one. Get that lint off there. Piece of lint on my finger now. Oh boy. Piece of lint right there now. Oops. I'm just putting these far enough apart that we should be able to tape down our dies around them. I think we should be good now. That one just a little away from the edge. Okay, now we're gonna pick up all our stamps. We will use the other side of this paper. And then this time we will start with our lighter colors first. Our lemonade, we got peach. I'm just putting these in the order we're going to use them here. No, I think we should do peach first, then lemonade. Now we're just going to start stamping away. Get this lint off here. Gonna have to double stamp these at least. But yeah, that lifted off the page, so we're not gonna double stamp this set. We're just gonna leave that set as it is. We're almost out of our little papers. We're gonna have to cut more paper soon too. A little worried about how close that is to the edge. Hopefully it still stamps okay. There we go. Let's see how it came out. That's good. You know, I think we don't even need to do the second round of stamping on this one. I'm going to actually move stuff off camera for a second. Sheet back on there, move those over. Let's make it so we have better room to work with. Oh, now I'm moving off camera again. Put our pile of papers over here. We'll put our done pile over there so those get dry. And look at that, I almost want to start again and move that over. All right, here we go again. You know, I think we need to make 4 or 5 out of each of these. That way, so we just have a ton of petals to work with. That one didn't stamp all the way, but this paper moves so much we're not going to try to redo it. When I really push down hard like that, it has more of a tendency to stick to the paper when we open the door, which isn't a big deal if we get a nice clear impression, but on the ones we don't get a clear impression on, well, they can't all be winners, I guess. We didn't have some that didn't come out perfect. We wouldn't appreciate the ones that do come out perfect as much. We'll do one more peach, and then we'll move on to lemonade. And then we're going to have to stop and cut paper again. Now, if you went to Hobby Lobby, you could probably buy little pre-cut sheets of paper that you wouldn't have to cut so much to use one of these stamping platforms. But I think we all develop our own preferences when it comes to the paper we stamp on. And the paper I really like to stamp on comes in 8.5 by 11. So that is, I just buy it in bulk from Amazon and cut it down to size. Over there. This will be our last peach. And I think we're actually going to pause right now and do our paper cutting. This. Wipe this down as we can. Some of the extra ink off the magnets. And then we're going to set our stamp platform aside. Cut a bunch of paper real quick. That off screen. And I'm going to get my giant paper cutter out again. Yeah, we could put that away. We don't need that. We ended up having enough embossing powder without having to open anything. Almost to the point where I need to open a new ream of paper too, which is good. It means I'm using up my supplies. So when you do it like this, you get 4 panels out of each sheet of paper, which works well enough for me. I'm going to try to cut 3 pieces of paper at a time here. Let's see how that works. And it worked just fine doing 3, so we'll do another 3 here. cutting a lot, so hopefully we don't have to pull out the paper cutter again. And if we have extras, I will use the extras later on another project. So I'm not worried about having extras. Neighbor's dog out there barking. It's a very uncharacteristically gloomy day today. Here in Florida, usually, we have the sunshine. Today it's been cloudy and rainy all day. Today definitely feels like a January. 3 more sheets here. Let's do another 3 sheets. I think we have more than 3 here. Do we have more than 3? I think we have 4. Yeah. I don't want to cut too many at a time because this paper is rather thick. And if I try to cut too much at a time, it'll just get stuck. And we'll get paper that's cut a little wonky, and we don't want that. We want these as uniform in size as possible for when we are doing our die cutting. We have quite a pile, but I think we're still going to keep going. And I'm going to cut this entire stack I have next to me. And just put our extras away for later when we get done. I think we're going to want lots of each color when it comes to these petals. Just keep on cutting. Almost to the bottom of the stack of paper I had. I think 2 more times we'll be done cutting paper. let's do our last stack of paper here. That one's a little damaged too. Alright, so now we're going to put the paper cutter back away. We're going to get out our little stamp platform again. And one thing I'm kind of thinking about now is the colors we have out. I think we're going to stamp some of this wisteria color. Now, the wisteria from Close to My Heart is on back order, so I do not have it yet. But I do have a Close to My Heart color that's close. So we'll sneak that close, the Stampin' Up! Color in with the Close to My Heart color. We'll do that one after we do Sundance. Okay, we'll get our lemonade out. Get our first little square. My hands are just covered in ink now. Like I'm going to have to really soak them to get this ink off. But we have done a lot of stamping today. A lot of stamping. My goal is I could put this set away and not really have to pull it out again. So I don't know. There it is on that stamp. Alright, let's do this. Remember to put that guy over there. I accidentally hit that with my finger. Let's see how that one comes out. We might have a flower that's missing a little bit of ink. Actually, I'm not even sure which one I hit with my finger. I'll set that aside to dry. We'll move on to our next one. Next up, the sheet. Keep on stamping. It's going to be interesting sending these through the die cutter. And again, we're going to probably do 5 sheets of each one. That way, if we want to build a flower, honestly, we should probably do 6 or 7 sheets of each color. So when we go to build the flowers, we have enough petals of each color. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. We only did a few peach, but we'll use the peach as accent petals. We have plenty of paper cut, so when we got everything out and arranged, we might as well do it in bulk. There we go. Keep doing this like we're on an assembly line in a factory. This is definitely not the most exciting part of crafting, but when we go to create later, we'll have everything ready made and we'll be able to finish projects quickly. There we go. So I think we've got 3 of those done now. We've got 4, we'll do 4 more. We'll do 8 total with the yellow. And maybe that's what we'll aim for. 8 of each color. I don't know, maybe be our favorite colors we should do even more of. Okay, we're going to do 3 more now. There we go. Two more of this color. I have to keep counting down so I remember where I am. I don't lose track. Next, this is going to be our last lemonade, and then we're going to move on to Sundance. I got yellow all over my hands now. It's kind of funny. And then because these colors are so similar, I'm not going to waste time trying to get everything nice and clean. We're just going to ink up the next color. Two of those, we need 6 more in Sundance. We're going to try to double stamp this one because that one came out so faint. There we go. Okay, so we've got 3 Sundance done. We need to do 5 more. Okay, we got 4 more to do. copies to do. Two more and we are done with Sundance. After we finish up with Sundance, we'll clean off our inks a little, and then we're going to do Wisteria. This will be our last Sundance. Make sure I remember to clean these magnets off too. A lot of ink in these magnets. Okay, so we're going to put Sundance away. All right. Excuse me. So now we are going to make, I think we should make 10 of these in the Wisteria. I don't know, that's going to be a lot of cutting. Excuse me. Oh, this thing's off its track. I hate these old, look at that. I hate these old Stampin' Up ink pads. They're so hard to use. I don't even know how this goes back together. Jesus. Okay, now we forced it back together. Let's clean off those edges so we don't get extra ink everywhere. They're probably the worst designed ink pads ever. I hate the Stampin' Up design for the ink pads. Excuse me. All right. Take a drink of tea and let's get back to work. Another very light color, so it's going to be a little hard to see if we've inked everything, but we're just going to hope for the best. We'll try it again. good enough. Excuse me. Talking for over 3 hours now, so my throat's a little dry. There we go. Oh, that one's, we're just going to leave it alone though. We're not even going to try to fix that. We're just going to move on. We've still got a lot of these to do, and we've got a lot of cutting to do. Okay, so we've done so far 3, 6, 9. We'll do one more wisteria, and then we will move on to grape. And I'm not going to stop and clean everything off in between because they're very similar colors. There we go. Okay, put this away without breaking it, without pinching our fingers. I've pinched myself on these Stampin' Up cases before. Alright, now we're moving on to grape. And we will do 10 grape, I think. I really do like how dark and luscious that grape is. Oh my goodness, I have people watching. I didn't even notice. Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. I am just stamping some little bits that we're going to die cut in a little bit. And I am making a large number of them because each one of these is an individual flower petal. So to make each flower, I'm going to need 4 to 5 of these. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm sorry I don't know how to say your name, Leah Thino. Hopefully I'm close, but again, thank you. I enjoy having people actually watching. Been doing this all morning, just trying to get it done so I can make some cards and some scrapbook pages. Yeah, just going through the very repetitive part of crafting right now where I'm creating my embellishments and supplies for later. And when I finish up with the grape, I'll stop and show the visitors what we've done already earlier, because we have been at this for quite a while. I think I need to make 2 more of these grape sheets. And I'm just taking my stamp pad, inking up these stamps, and then pushing down really hard. Oh, see, I missed that one, but it'll be okay. These are watercolor look to them, so it's kind of forgiving on the mistakes. Okay, this is going to be our last grape, and then I'm going to move my little stamp thing aside, and I'll show our new viewers what we've done so far. We've been stamping all morning, and we did some heat embossing earlier. Hello, eSart Lady B. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining me. I'm sorry, I don't know how to say all these names. I'm really new to Twitch, so I don't know how people react. I'm just trying to figure it out as I go along. But this is our last purple. So I'm going to set my stamping platform aside, and I will show you what we've done today. So we are making these things that are going to be cut out as embellishments. So we've already stamped all of these in different colors. These are the ones we heat embossed. You can tell from the camera that they're kind of shiny. So, and then we cut these flowers out. Again, different colors here. More of the different colors. We will be getting the big shot out next to cut these up into little pieces. And what we're working with is eventually these are going to go on these scrapbook pages, and I have this really pretty paper. When I cut these out, these will be the embellishments in the paper with the words and with the flowers. So this morning we've just been kind of prepping to do our actual project. So we'll be probably looking like this, and then I'll have 3x4 photos on here. That's what the layout's going to kind of look like when we're done. But we've got a little more stamping to do. And then these dots, I just took a water pen and sprinkled some ink on the paper. So that is what we are working on. I'm going to pull my stamp pattern platform back out because I'm almost done with the really boring part of this project. And welcome everyone. Hello, hello. If you want to tell me about the stream that you're rating from, I would love to know what they craft, what they make, what they're all about, if anybody wants to tell me. Oh, we've got a card maker too. Yes, yes. Anytime you make more than one, it takes a while. But when you get all this little stuff out of the way at once, and then you have like a pile of stuff to work with later, it is so worth it. I would love to see what Leah makes. Very interested in seeing what other people make. I love to see inspiration. I love to learn from other people. Any tips you guys give me, always happy to listen. I know I don't always do things the best way. I just kind of figure out a way to do stuff and I stick with it. So I'm going to probably make 4 of these, and then I am going to get the big shot out, and we're going to cut some parts out. I'm glad people are forgiving when you butcher their names, because I have no idea how to pronounce anything. I can't even say my own name half the time, so that is a relief. And if anybody could put like a link or something in the chat where I could look at it later to see what you guys make, I would really love to see what you guys make. I'm new to Twitch, so I'm not very good at navigating it yet. But if there's a link or something that I could click, that would be awesome. Or just tell me what to search for later. That would be great too. So for the fellow card maker here, what type of cards are you working on right now? Are you guys working on Valentine's Day cards, spring themed, Easter? Let me know what you're working on. I'd love to know what you're working on. These are just going to be general kind of springish card. Well, not cards. These are going to be scrapbook pages, but I'll use these parts on cards too. It's got a friend theme to the stamp set I'm using. I'm gonna make 2 more in this Harbor color because I just love this rich blue. It's a very dark, kind of neutral blue. I just love looking at it. That color makes me happy. Okay, I'm going to make 1 more, and then we're going to set the platform aside. And I'll show you the stamp sets I'm using too. I really like these stamp sets. Alright, last one, get it nice and good. Put it in our pile to dry. We got a little bit of an oopsie there, but it'll be fine. Okay, so I'm going to move that aside so I don't have to clean it right away. And close up this ink, get that out of our way. And then I'll take a quick peek at the stamp set that I'm using. So this is the one that we were just cutting petals out from. That's where our sweet title came from. And the other one, I am not sure where I put the, I don't know where I put my other one at, but the other one is the flowers. Oh no, the other one is the girls. This is the other one I'm using. And this one, I thought that was so cute. Best friends. So I really love these stamps. Alright, so now our next step will be to grab the old Big Shot. But I think before we pull the Big Shot over here, we are going to line up some of our dies. So we have a lot of die cutting to do. And I think we're going to start with this one here. So the way I like to do this, I like to use washi tape. And I like to tape my dies to my paper. And I try to use the washi tape that I don't see myself using a lot of for this. Alright, so got sweet. And we're just going to tape that down to this piece of paper. Try to get it nice and even, but we're not going to stress out about it because nobody will actually notice. If it's off a little bit on the white space, nobody ever notices. So we're not going to stress out about it. We're just going to tape it down and move along. The piece of tape's too big. I'm just gonna secure it so it won't move very much, because we're gonna be running this one through many times, and we're actually probably gonna stack these and cut more than one at once too. All right. Nope. Nope. This is the hardest part, trying to line it up. There, I think this is our winner right here. That's how we're gonna align it. So again, welcome all my viewers from the other stream. Appreciate you joining me. I am very, very new to Twitch, trying to figure stuff out. And I'm just looking for people who like to craft, like to chat. Looking for other channels I could join. That would be awesome if you could get me the link. And I have no idea how like the Twitch chat works yet, I will be honest. I just figured out last night how to leave a comment for somebody else, and I was very proud of myself. So we're taking it slowly and learning as we go. That one is nice and secure. And then our final die for Best Friends is coming from here. And we're just going to tape this over our words, and then I will go grab my big shot, and we're going to start cutting these out. So we have got a whole pile of these to cut as I struggle with my washi tape. All right. Sounds like it's raining outside again. Such a gloomy day today. Welcome back. I'm glad you could join me again. All right. That's pretty. Oh, we'll put one more piece of tape on, just because we're going to be running this through many times. We'll just put this piece of tape here. Okay, now I'm gonna grab the big shot from behind me. Oh, thank you for the link. When I get done with this, I will go check it out. I'd love to see what other people make. I have found that the people here on Twitch, you guys make some really amazing things. Some very talented crafters and makers. All right. So now, this first one, actually, I need to turn it this way. I apologize, you can't see very much. I'm using a really old webcam, which I think is a step up from using my iPhone, so the webcam was a slight improvement for me. So, we'll run this through. Make sure it went all the way through. Then we're gonna pull it back. And let's see how they cut. Look at that. Doesn't that look nice? And I am actually going to grab a little plastic container to put these in as we finish them. Just a little bin from the dollar store that's going to hold these bigger ones as we finish them. I'll probably have to get Ziploc baggies for the really small ones. So now we're going to start cutting multiples at once. And the way we're going to do this, line those up, and we're going to line them up here, and then we're going to washi tape our pile together. And we're going to start out trying to do 2 sheets. If the 2 sheets cut well, we will experiment with doing 3 at once, and we'll see how that goes. Let's try to get this nice and lined up. Just hold them in. Now sometimes when you do this, your bottom layers won't be as straight as the top layers. With the flowers, it doesn't matter as much. With these little die cuts, it might make a difference, but we'll see how it goes. So here we go. We're going to send this through. Sorry for my mat moving around. And we're actually going to send it through again just to make sure we cut through everything. This is going to be my arm workout for today. And as you can tell, we cut through okay on this one. So we've got 2 of these done. Our flower came out okay. Yep. And even though we didn't really line up this bottom sheet, it looks like it cut okay too. See, we're not too far off. But it did not cut all the way through. I'll have to clean that up with scissors when I go to use it. Yeah, I'll just have to take the scissors and clean this one up a little. But now we know we could definitely do 2. I think trying to do 3 sheets at once would really be pushing it. So I think we're going to stick with 2 sheets at once. Alright, so got 2 more here. Just gonna make sure they're lined up right. Line up here. Nice and straight. Tuck my washi tape back there. Then we're gonna send it through. There we go. No problem. Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate any time you spent with me. I'm going to check out your channel. Can't wait to see what you make. Try to go through this again. Again. Alright, let's see how these cut. Stuck to our sheet a little there. Top layer, no problems at all with that top layer. There we go. Look at that. This one cut a little better than that first one. Throw our scraps away. Add these to our done pile. And we're just going to keep on moving. Oh, we've got some grape ones now. And doing it like this, when you tape them down to the sheet, and then you do multiples at once, definitely speeds the process up. Makes it just a little bit quicker. There we go. Push that in there. We're going to go through twice. I'm just holding my plates down just so they don't pop up. With the 2 sheets, if it pops up a little, oh, see, we shifted a little on that one. But if it pops up while you're cutting with the 2 sheets, it will move your paper around and your stuff won't come out straight. Although this one we know did not come out straight already. But although it did not stay straight on there, it still looks fine because that extra white space. Same with our flower. Our flower shifted too, but it is just fine. Here we go. Look at that. Yeah, just fine. And it's a lot faster than trying to cut each one of these out individually. Oh my goodness. I would go nuts if I was trying to cut these out. I would give up. I would not, yeah, I would give up trying to do this individually. I just don't have the attention span for it. So let's, where did I put my washi? We'll use this washi tape. I don't know what oh, there he is. We'll use this dollar store one first. I'm going to need a full piece. I'm just enough to keep these mostly in place is what we're aiming for. If we were fancy, we'd do it on both sides, but there's white space around these dies, so I'm not too worried if it gets, you know, a little off. Because like we saw in that last one, our die shifted a lot and it still looked just fine. And we're going to bring it back, and then we're going to do this again. And then we're just going to keep repeating this process for our entire pile of die cuts. Pull it out. It was moving, so I didn't want to risk cutting it weird. So doing it this way, the goal is when I go to actually start putting my scrapbook papers, my scrapbook pages together, and my mini books and my cards, I'll have a whole bin of these little embellishments pre-cut that already match my paper and match my theme. So I could just reach in here, pull out stuff to put on my page, and I don't have to stop what I'm doing and, you know, get out the ink. I don't have to pull out the big shot because I have a bunch of stuff already ready to go. And I could just keep creating what I'm working on. You know, because sometimes you get in that crafty groove where you're just like making stuff and stuff's looking good, and you don't want to have to stop and switch gears, because then sometimes you lose your flow a little. I actually really like that title. We have a banner that's going to go with it that says friend, but we could use that on its own too. Next two victims all lined up. Here we go. This is one I tried to go back and fix an oopsie in the ink, and I made it worse by smearing more ink on it. Somehow smearing ink all over the missing ink did not fix the problem, but it'll be okay. Yeah, but I know it. I could see being afraid to do multiple layers, but you have to remember when you're making these, it's not that hard to make more of your die cuts if you need to. So if you really mess up on one, if you've made multiple pages, you've got more to experiment with, and then it's not the end of the world if you have to go back and stamp some more. And if you try it and you figure it out and you get it working for you, then you found something that's going to save you a lot of time in the future too. So I would say go for it, experiment. It'll be awesome. Experiment with something that's forgiving though, like these, where if it's forgiving where it has the white space, you notice the little mistakes a lot less. I say go for it. Have fun with it. Alright, so how many more of these sweet ones do we have? I have a whole pile still. Cut a lot of these. My goal is, I've used my stamp set today. I want to cut all my die cuts, and then I don't want to have to pull this die set out again for a long time with my stamps. I want to have enough stamped images where I could just reach into my pile and not have to go back through 20 different steps. You know, unless I'm stamping directly on a scrapbook page or something. That's a little different. That's not as cumbersome as trying to do something like this though. And I will say, when we talk about being afraid to do stuff, I am so afraid of stamping right on my scrapbook pages. That always worries me. I like using my stamp platform, and you can't really do that on a scrapbook page. You have to use the acrylic blocks, and I am always making mistakes with my acrylic blocks. I drop them, I smudge them. If you don't pick it up straight, you get the little smudges on the bottom. Like this one, see, we were off a little, but with the white space, it's really not that noticeable. Very forgiving for the mistakes. See, I mean, we were off quite a bit there. If it really bothered me, I might try to go back with scissors, but it just doesn't bother me that much. Still completely usable. I'll cut out some of our lemonade ones next. And I'll say, when I was stamping these earlier, I was not crazy about this lemonade color at all. But as it's dried, I find myself liking this color more. I think we need another piece of washi tape for the next one. It's not really holding it straight anymore. Now I will say I am not looking forward to die cutting the sheets of petals we were stamping. With all those little pieces, those sheets of petals are gonna be a pain in the butt. Again, I was off a little, but with the white space, it's fine. I can guarantee nobody is gonna notice that I made a mistake on there. I'm the only one who's gonna notice. And I used to really obsess about making mistakes, but at this point in time, you know, we're making handmade items here. Everything is not going to be perfect. And then if you really look closely at like cards you get from like Hallmark, there's mistakes on those cards all the time where stuff's not lined up perfectly. There's printing issues. So stress out about the handmade one when, you know, the stuff you buy at the store isn't always perfect either. Alright, so we're gonna, it is really raining out there now. To the point where I wonder if we're gonna have to drain water out of our pool today. First we'll line this up. Try to get my washi tape going again. Here we go. Line this up the best we can. I think we've learned it doesn't matter if it's perfect. You just want good enough. It's going to be irritating pulling that washi tape off when we're done, but it'll be okay. And I have my back door open, so I don't have to turn the AC on today. And even though it's raining, I can still hear a ton of birds outside. They're making a lot of noise today. All right. See, I folded this under, so peel it up. Sometimes the washi tape's a little too sticky. Helps to rub it on your arm or your shirt first so it sticks, but it doesn't super stick. See, like that's stuck a little too much. And we got more of our die cuts done. I really love this Sundance color. This yellowish orange. I just really love that. It's almost like a retro 70s color-ish, but it's not quite. It's another color that makes me happy. Sundance and Harbor. Two of my favorite colors right now. Lightly pop this out. I'm holding onto my die cut so I don't damage anything. I could fix that with scissors later, if/when I actually use this specific embellishment. All good. All good. Keep on crafting. Alright, so I think these are our last two with these specific dies. Let's double check real quick though. Yeah, that's our last two with these specific dies, I think. So when we finish these, we'll be lining up a different set of dies. I got cat fur stuck in this already. I don't know where the cat fur came from. The cat's not even in here, but all of a sudden there's cat fur on this project I'm working on. The cat fur just materializes out of thin air, I think. Or the cat just looks in my direction and the fur comes at me. I haven't seen one of my cats over here. I have 3 cats, and I actually have not even seen one of the cats over here in like the last hour, so no idea where the fur came from. So we're gonna put these in our bin. Now we got a nice full bin of embellishments to work with later. I really like the size of this. It's a nice focal point for a card, and it's also big enough to use, you know, as your title on a scrapbook page. And it's still small enough to use on a mini album too, because that would fit right across as a title page or as a title on one of the inside pages of a mini album. So I really like this set. Unfortunately, it's a limited time only set. They're only guaranteed to have it in stock till the end of February. So if this is a set you like, I would buy it sooner rather than later. And I definitely see myself using some of these pieces again, like that sweet friend part. I could definitely see going back to this stamp set and pulling it out to use it again. So we're freeing our dies here. I'm going to put these dies back on their magnetic sheet, which is another bonus with these stamp sets that come with the dies. They also include the magnetic sheet for you. So you have your storage, comes right in the little pouch with your stamps. Alright. That last little bit off. Okay, so let's see. I think next we're going to do these. This one is a one-off. It's stamped different than the rest, so we're going to set that one aside for now and work on this pile. So for these, we're going to need our best friends again. these are very crisp and black because we heat embossed them earlier. So they've got that nice little shininess where we melted the powder. Okay, we'll put this bestie one on next. I'm a little worried about that one. I'm worried I stamped that too close to the top. But we will see. It might be okay. I think worst case scenario, it'll just have a little less white space on the top. So this morning I was thinking about taking my kids and going to Disney for the day. I was thinking about seeing if we could get reservations for the Magic Kingdom. With all this rain, I am glad I decided to stay home and craft. Because I know people say, you know, Disney's great even in the rain, but when you live here and you have the choice of going there on a rainy day versus a nice day, the rainy days just don't seem worth it. Especially if you get stuck buying food and such for people. It's so expensive, it's just not worth it to go on a rainy day. Although if you want to ride rides, the lines are probably not too bad today. I will say that. Because it is a mixture of rainy and cold for Florida. And I'll say cold for Florida because I know when we lived in Chicago, you know, 60 to 70 degrees did not seem cold, but here it seems cold. I think we'll be okay on that one. It's a tight fit, but it still fits.